All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me well. Good afternoon or good morning if you're joining us from the West Coast. Welcome to another session of Coastal Law webinar series titled Should I Become a Lawyer or an Attorney? My name is Yunus Lai. I'm an attorney and alumni of Florida Coastal and admissions counselor in the Office of Admissions, and will be your host today from the beautiful Auburn, Alabama. I'm in the campus right now, so if you hear noises in the background, I apologize. This is the most quiet place I could find in this building. We'll make work with what we have here. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here with us today. We certainly appreciate that, and we'll do our best to make it worth your while. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Mrs. Elizabeth Lopez from our Center for Professional Development, who will discuss some alternative career path that a JD holder can take, and also Mr. Barry Johnson, one of our 2008 alumni, who is now a practicing attorney out of Orlando, Florida, and has graciously accepted to talk to us about his experience as an attorney, what he loves about what he does, what he doesn't love so much about what he does, and in general, life as an attorney, and perhaps some advices for you guys as prospective law students. As always, I encourage all of you to ask any questions you might have at any time during the presentations, and we will do our best to answer as many of them as possible. You can use the chat box on the side of your screens, and we will do our best to answer as many as we can, like I mentioned. Now, without any further ado, I give you Mrs. Elizabeth Lopez. Elizabeth, take it away. Elizabeth, I'm afraid you're not unmuted yet. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, perfect. Yes.
Thanks for letting me know. I am Elizabeth Lopez, and I am part of the Center for Professional Development here at Florida Coastal. And our focus is helping students while they're in school, getting their resumes together and helping along the lines of anything that they have to put together for externships, internships. And then once they graduate, they work with me on getting permanent employment. And one of the things that we talk about are alternative careers. So thank you so much for hearing me and some of the ideas that we have for alternative careers once you gain a JD. So a career can be enhanced by your law degree, and it can open doors to new opportunities that maybe you didn't expect. It can be sort of a stepping stone into an attorney position, and you can be creative with this. You can take your JD and find ways to fit it into a career that you're interested in. So statistically, we already have the 2015 numbers, and about 14.5% of 2015 law graduates chose to go a JD preferred route, which means that their JD advanced them in their career, but they are not practicing law. And about 4.2 went into professional positions, and 1.9 went into academia positions, which could be teaching, could be something sort of along the lines of what I'm doing. And there are many different reasons to choose an alternative legal career. You might have a very high interest in a certain area, a certain industry, and the JD might just advance you where it's not exactly a legal career that you're looking for. There are people who go for an alternative career because they're looking for a less demanding work schedule. I know when I practiced law, it was almost a 24-hour-a-day job. It was constantly thinking about the cases that I had going on. I billed my hours, which meant everything that I spent my time doing had to go into a billing component. And some people, that's just not for them. So a lot of people who enter a law school program also have an entrepreneurial spirit. So you can take what you learn here and advance those desires as well. And one other thing is, like I said, avoiding those billable hours. They're a little annoying. So what you might find when you graduate law school, if you do decide to go with an alternative career, is that your friends and family might be a little bit shocked and wonder why you spent the time. And when you start going on interviews, employers might be confused as to the move that you're making and worry that you're overqualified or they can't pay enough. So some of the things that you can do to sort of deal with the effects to the people around you, overcoming their objections, is you can sell yourself. You want to educate an employer as to how the things you learned in your internships and externships can evolve into and be valuable to what their needs are. You can use your legal skills to persuade, because you will learn how to be quite persuasive once you enter law school. And then you can translate the legal skills into industry-specific required skills that you might find, again, depending on what your interests are. A career choice process, what you want to do is make sure that you take some time to really spend time with yourself and discover what your skills are. While you're in law school, you can take self-assessment tests. I believe in our library is where they keep all of those together. You can sort of look at what your past experiences are. Before I went to law school, I was in pharmaceutical sales. And when I decided I didn't want to practice law anymore, I moved into a business development role for a legal recruiter. So that's sort of a way of taking my past experience, uniting it with my experience practicing law and my JD, and coming up with a new way to take my skills and be valuable to an employer. You always want to evaluate the current job market and make sure that you have realistic goals and rank your priorities. It might be that you're looking for a certain type of work culture, could be a priority to one person, and to another person it could be all about the growth of the position and where it could end up long term. So you have to sort of spend some time with yourself and see what the priorities are and then rank them. And that'll help you on the path of finding a career. When it comes to the search process, you want to make sure that you understand the industry that you might be applying to. And I love LinkedIn. I think it's a great source of information, as well as finding people who are doing the job right now that you're looking to enter. It's very easy to get on LinkedIn, send a little email and ask if they might give you 10, 15 minutes of their time. If you're in the same city, offer to take them out for coffee to network with them. One thing you always want to make sure is that you keep your LinkedIn network very full. Always connect with the people that you know, because you have no idea who they might know and how they can connect you to your long-term goals. Volunteering is another great way that people here at Florida Coastal have found amazing alternative careers, because they've met people they never would have met here. They met them at a volunteer opportunity and discovered their stories and found something, a hidden passion, I guess is a good way to say it. Make sure you're connecting with your family, of course. And then when you do decide what you're looking for, do lots of research into the employer that you're looking to work for, so that you can make a strong resume and get into what you're looking to do. I consider your resume a marketing slick, and it's the first thing you use to market yourself. Let's see, using your skill set. One of the things that you have to sort of stand very strong in once you gain your JD is that you have learned to work under pressure and meet deadlines. Once you join moot court or enter an externship, you will be a part of the legal world, and deadlines are usually very important to everybody. You're going to learn to negotiate and persuade. In many instances, you will work as a team towards a goal. You'll have risk awareness. You will be taught sort of how to issue spot and how to apply rules and analyze and then conclude. And all of that's related to risk awareness and is very valuable to many employers. You'll have counseling and problem-solving skills that are more advanced, and you will have familiarity with legal terminology. For some reason, that's a word I never get right. You will have highly developed research and writing skills that can be utilized in most any job. And you'll have enhanced communication abilities, which is quite valuable once you hit any job market, to make sure that you can sort of take in information and communicate it well to others. Some non-traditional fields include alternative dispute resolution, also known as ADR, and that could be, you could work for yourself and offer those services, or you can work for a large company and offer those services. Clearly, business and financial services is a big hot area. Contracts, lots of people go into corporations. Let's say Johnson & Johnson is a corporation I'm working with right now that is seeking a contracts manager. You will learn those skills in law school and be able to take that with you where a bar is not required, but a JD will help advance you. Going into education, environmental protection. Human resources is also gaining large popularity with JD students who are looking for something other than practicing law. And in human resources, it's the type of thing that you will walk in higher than an entry level, and you can build that career over time. Clearly, you can go into legislative affairs and policies, jobs within government, legal information and research. Real estate is another hot area. I constantly have people calling me from real estate companies looking for JD graduates that might want to join. And going into tax is another one as well. Once you go into a business incorporation, if that's the way you want to go, these are just some ideas within a business of jobs that you can do with a JD. And again, you can also balance it with what you did undergrad. If you have a marketing degree and then gain a Juris Doctorate, then you are more valuable in the marketing team, because not only do you have a marketing background, but now they need less help from the legal department when you enter. So these are all different things that you can do within a business. And the next couple of slides are sort of the same. A big area that a lot of people are considering is regulatory and compliance. In some businesses, it's one. In others, it's two different fields, regulatory and compliance. This is an area such as Deutsche Bank. We have a partnership with them here in Jacksonville, and they are currently filling up their anti-money laundering analyst group. And they are specifically coming for JD graduates who bring a new level of abilities as an analyst that aren't likely to be seen with just a bachelor's. So that's a big area. Also compliance for Citigroup. So banking compliance, that's a big area as well. Something good to sort of keep in mind. These are different things that you can do within financial services. Lots of compliance officers are sought within financial services, clearly in areas that have large financial service companies such as New York, Chicago, and LA. Keep that in mind. Also, here are some things that you can do more specifically within human resources, including college recruiter. Personally, I went into legal recruiting. I did in-house legal recruiting for large corporations. That's also part of human resources. You can be an administrator within a law firm and help hire attorneys for a law firm. You could be a training manager, all kinds of things within human resources. This is a new area too. I'm finding lots of people going into legal publishing, working for Bloomberg or Thomson Reuters, and doing legal news. So especially if you have a journalist background before coming to law school, that's a good place that you can go as well with your JD. There's lots of educational and research institutions that would welcome a JD because of what you bring to the table. So all of these are great ideas as well of creative alternative careers. And I believe this is our last one. It's just going to show you some resources of where I found some of this information. So, does anyone have any questions?
All righty. Well, thank you very much, Elizabeth, for that very informative presentation. Now, without any further ado, in the spirit of staying on the schedule, I'm going to throw it to Mr. Barry Johnson. Barry, can you hear me? Perfect. Barry, it's all yours. Take it away.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. Before I begin, let me just go ahead and say congratulations to all you guys on here. Just the fact that you're taking the initial step into looking to further yourself and further your career is awesome. The JD education is something that will set you apart, and is something that you will hold near and dear to you. And whether you decide to go into a non-traditional legal field, or if you decide to become an attorney like myself. If you've been accepted to Coastal already, congratulations. If you're looking to apply, there's not a better place you can go. They're going to prepare you with various opportunities to further yourself and further your career, and it's a tremendous resource to yourself. They're way ahead of the game in terms of the technology and the educational chances versus what I would call a traditional law school. That follows kind of the Harvard model of education, if you're at all familiar with it. They do an amazing job, and I cannot recommend it anymore. So they gave me kind of a little quick kind of play-by-play here, what they'd like me to talk about. So let me just go through it. There's obviously a chat box on the side. If you have any questions, please go ahead and interrupt me. Feel free, not a problem at all, and I'll try to answer them as I see them, okay? Kind of a brief description of what I do. I'm actually a real estate attorney. I was when I started my career, I was actually started at the Public Defender's Office in Gainesville, Florida, defending indigent clients who have, allegedly committed crimes. I was in the misdemeanor division, handling a lot of DUIs and some simple batteries and stuff like that. Then I moved up to felony, which was obviously a lot more serious crimes. I tried about 10 cases there, so I've been a trial attorney in the criminal side as well as now in the civil side. I got into real estate about 2010, so I've been in it for, about 6 years now. Time flies. And essentially what I really focus on is lender representation and transactional and litigation, as I discussed. I started my career, obviously, in the real estate side, representing banks in various commercial and residential foreclosures, evictions, workouts, etc., quiet title actions. And since I've expanded myself, and I do probably really close to about 75-25. I still do about 75% litigation. However, 25% of it is I do transactional stuff, in which I represent investors, banks, individuals in commercial and residential real estate closings, title actions, partitions, a numerous array of things. If it involves dirt, we try to do it. So that's kind of my day. That's kind of what I do in a nutshell. I also do handle some commercial and business transactions as well. If you're selling a business, for example, or if you are potentially selling, equipment out of the business, something like that, we do that as well. A typical day at the office for me, it can change. It depends if I got court or something like that going on, but typically I get to the office sometime around 9 o'clock. I have to take my young son to school. It's preschool, and so then I show up then, and it's pretty much just kind of see how things go during the day. I'm in the office, 8-10 hours a day, something like that, where I knock out whatever's going on. It's important as an attorney to build a large client base so that you can continue to draw revenue. I mean, you are running a business. I am the owner of the firm. So there's a lot of business aspects to it. There's some stuff that they don't really teach you in law school, like getting clients, accounts receivables, handling employees. I mean, you're going to get an understanding of the JD and the legal expertise that you're going to be able to practice law. However, there's a lot more to it than that in terms of starting and owning your own firm. What do I like most about being an attorney? It's something that, I guess you could say I was born to do. I was like you, probably like a lot of you guys on this webinar. I was in college. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. And I took a business law class, and I loved it, and it was great. And I took some more law classes, some constitutional law, some business law, some other things, and I then decided to go ahead and try my hand at law school. And from that point on, it worked, it fit, and it's been a great career. I see there's a couple questions here on the side before we get to some of these other things. Why did I pick Coastal? For me, I was from Jacksonville. I actually went to Jacksonville University, and I actually played football at Jacksonville University. And so I was already in Jacksonville, and Coastal just kind of fit. To be frank, it just really the experience, the chance and the opportunity there that they offered just kind of fit for me the best. I had gotten into a couple other places, however, Coastal was just kind of it just made sense for me. The moot court and your moot court stuff we're one of the best in the country, and you're going to have a really good chance to further yourself here at Coastal. Also, as one of the it just like I said, it just really fit for me. How much time would you say? Okay, we have Elton here. How much time? Spending court and preparing for court. Wow. Okay. It depends on the hearing. As you kind of get more experienced, you can you've seen a lot of the same arguments or a lot of the same things. So that stuff takes a little bit less time. But obviously, like for a trial, I mean, sometimes it was weeks and months to prepare for a trial back when I was trying a lot of either criminal cases or I have tried some civil matters involving Fair Debt Collection Practices Act and some other things. So it could be, it's hours, or it could be something as simple as, you've done it before, and so you just knock it out. What could I do without? I mean, it's just like any other peril, that anything else you do. I mean, you're going to deal with people, and you're going to deal with some, especially in the litigation side, you're going to deal with some people that are what I would call true believers. Regardless of reason or regardless of logic, they're going to fight for their cause to the ends of the earth, and sometimes that can be very annoying. I mean, I understand they're doing a great job, but like I said, it's just that can be a little bit annoying. But I mean, overall, I mean, it's every career you're going to choose, whether it's law or something else, is going to have some of the things are going to have certain things that are going to bother you. But probably other attorneys would probably be the worst, especially if they're on that side. Whenever I look at a case, my main goal is to assess business risk for my client and allow them to make the best, most reasoned choice based upon that risk and based upon the cost of that risk. And that's what we should do as an attorney. You should assess risk and allow that client to make the best informed decision. However, some attorneys don't act like that and don't believe that, and so that they can create and cause problems, whether it's ethically or just by questioning character or whatever else. So probably definitely other attorneys. Other than that, I mean, it's just like I said, it's just like anything else. Advice for a prospective student. Like I told you, the JD experience is awesome. I mean, you can't take the education away. It's going to change your life. It's going to put you on a career path in which you're going to be able to make a lot of money. You're going to be able to make great inroads into either whether you become an attorney or you get into the normal business world. It's going to propel you forward to be able to not only salary wise but also enhance your career. I cannot recommend it enough. The JD experience is awesome, and it's going, like I said, it's just going to make you better. However, like I would say, the practice of law isn't for everybody. So you really need to make an informed decision and then assess the risk. I mean, it is expensive. I think units would tell you that. Even though, coastal is competitive, it's still expensive. And no matter where you go, it's going to be expensive. And you need to weigh that out and make that decision. I will say this: if your goal here is to make X, thinking that you're going to come out of law school making X and your life's going to be taken care of, that's just not the case. So I would really make a decision on whether you really think that this is really something for you and that you're going to love what you do. Because if you don't love what you do and you're going to law school for some other reason, it may not be the best thing for you to do. However, if you think that this is something that you're really going to love, the JD experience is something that you're going to hold dear and it's something that you really want, regardless of any other factor, then I'd strongly recommend it. We have a couple other questions over here. Helen, what is your hourly rate? That depends. It's just dependent upon the client, depending on what's going on, what kind of case it is. I would say your typical hourly rate right now in the state of Florida usually will run anywhere from about $175 to anywhere up to $450. Just kind of depends on the case, the complexity, the area of law. I mean, that's a really, really broad question. How much time did you study? Elton asked another question. How much time did you study for the Florida bar? Also, did you feel well prepared for the bar? Yes, I did. I did feel well prepared for the bar. Coastal did a great job, and especially now they offer free Barbary for you guys, which is something they didn't offer when I was there, and I would have loved to have taken advantage of it. But if you do the work in Barbary and you study, you're going to be fine. You're going to pass. In terms of how much time did I study, I treated it like a job for that summer. I think I graduated, I want to say, at the end of May, and the bar's end was obviously in July. So there was about 8 weeks thereabout to get yourself prepared and ready to go. And I treated it like a 40-hour week job. I came to school at 9 o'clock in the morning, did the Barbie thing, and then just did homework, did everything I needed to do, and got after it. They're going to set you up with a roadmap, and you should have no problem passing that bar if you do the work. And Coastal's going to give you the roadmap, and Coastal's going to prepare you to do it. And at the end of the day, it's whether or not you're going to pass. Let's see. We got Lauren asked another question. She said something about the alumni. The alumni are great here. If you graduate from Coastal and you're able to connect with the alumni, I'd strongly recommend you do that. And number two, it's only going to help you in networking and everything like that. And it's also it's very student centered. So people like myself, we're going to look for alumni. We're going to look to help alumni. We're going to look to connect alumni, not only with jobs in the legal field or outside the legal field, but also just with relationships that are going to not only able you to do a better job in your career, but also propel you in that career. And that's something that we're very excited about, and it's something we're continuing to grow. I'm an alumni board member, so I strongly believe in the ethos that is the Florida Coastal School of Law. Ryan asked, you mentioned several upsides. How do you feel about what are the downsides of going to Florida Coastal? I wouldn't say there's any downsides to Florida Coastal's educational experience that are just the coastal problems. There are JD and law problems and law school problems all over the place. Obviously, it's an expensive endeavor. It's something that, like I told you, you better want to do. But I don't really think there's any downsides to picking Coastal versus anywhere else. I think there's a lot of upsides. But I mean, the downsides, like I said, there's really no downsides to a JD. However, there's obviously some things out there that you're going to have to weigh, and that's the cost and your desire to further your education. Will you see yourself? Something about Ellen said something about New York City. I don't really understand the question. You may want to re-ask it. Sorry, I don't. There's alumni in New York City that we could connect you with if that's your question. But if you want to re-ask it, I'll be happy to answer it. Elton asked another question. Does your firm offer internships and externships? Yes, we do. And we've hosted a couple summer associates, and I always make sure I look for a coastal. Coastal preferred, of course. My law partner is actually a Cumberland grad. He went to University of Florida for undergrad, then he went to Cumberland School of Law in Birmingham. So we always look for internships and other things to help law students. I was a full-time student. I was not a part-time student. There was no accelerated program then. That's a new thing that the ABA has developed. So I really can't comment on that. It's going to get you through school faster. But I would say enjoy the experience. You got all your life to work. So enjoy law school, enjoy your time here. Take full advantage of the alumni, the relationships, the professors, your deans, and build relationships with them, because that's really what's going to help you. My first job was from Rosa DeBose, who's a dean of your school, and she was able to connect me, and that connection ended up getting me my first job. So it's very important to do that. Is there any other questions anybody else has? Okay. All right. Well, Eunice, take it away, my man. Thanks, buddy.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Barry. I have to say, as a new attorney myself, I found both presentations extremely informative and useful and comprehensive. Thanks again. As you guys would imagine, as a practicing attorney for Barry, we are very thankful to take the time out of your very busy schedule and be here and talk to us. That is an example of the kind of support that you guys would feel at Florida Coastal. with their alumni and the staff and faculty. We all back each other up and make sure to support each other. I just want to apologize on my behalf if there are noises in the background. 4 weeks ago, I hosted this webinar from Philadelphia. 2 weeks ago, I hosted it from Virginia. Today, I'm in Alabama. So it's fun to travel around, but sometimes I can't exactly find the most quiet of places. But I hope you guys could hear the important part, which is our presenters presenting their knowledge and experience. So once again, thank you, all of you, for attending. We again had a record-breaking attendance today. It encourages us to do more of these webinars, and it shows that we are doing what you guys want. I want to thank all the participants who asked questions. Ryan, Helen, Elton, all of you, great questions. Thanks for participating. That helps narrow down the presentations and the webinar to what you really want to hear, which is our main goal. And once again, on my own behalf, Barry from Orlando, Elizabeth in Jacksonville, and the entire team of Florida Coastal, I want to thank you all. And I hope you join us again in 2 weeks when we have our next webinar. You will receive invitations to that, and we look forward to that. Have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.